And we're back. Hope everybody is ready for some more as we look into the episode Never Say Xever.
Okay. Now the odd thing about this episode is that even though Chris Bradford failed to capture the turtles in like 2 or 3 episodes ago, this one just starts like right afterwards with Shredder still being pissed that they failed.
My theory about that is like the first sequence actually begins directly after season 4, not season 4, but episode 4.
You're already going ahead.
Wow,
very far ahead.
We missed the whole 2 whole seasons.
What were we doing? Drinking? We missed a whole.
I missed
whole year?
we missed the Don and April wedding episode. I mean,
Dude, they got married.
only Venka knows for sure.
How was their honeymoon?
Turtle-rific.
Excuse me for the Freudian slip there. What I meant to say, the first sequence begins after episode 4, and then the rest of the episode takes place in the weeks or days following episode 4.
You know, Mark, I think she could see the future. That's the truth. I think she could see the future.
Well, because like he said, because Xever states that he put it out on the street to look for turtles, or look for the Ninja Turtles, and it would had taken time for that to go out all over the streets to look for a group of gigantic turtles.
Yeah, that's what Bradford also explained to the Shredder. They're like man-sized turtles that fight martial arts. And since he messed up, Shredder now puts Xever in charge of the mission, and of course Bradford doesn't like him that much, but you'll have to listen unless he wants to get sliced up.
Yes, it's either follow Xever or die painfully.
And like you mentioned, Xever did spread the word, and some people will find out who they are soon, about the turtles. And while April's leading the turtles, cute theme song, epic theme song, rock your head to the theme song, yeah. The April leads the turtles to there's a noodle shop, right? Like a Chinese noodle shop?
Yeah, a 24-hour noodle shop is run by a blind chef.
Whoa, 24 hours.
Yeah, and what's interesting is the name Murakami, apparently the name was after a colleague who worked on Teen Titans, but Murakami is also the family name of one of the OT producers.
People that worked on the original 80s cartoon. That was clever. For those that don't know what OT means.
What?
Hmm?
What?
The 80s cartoon, sometimes it's called the OT.
Okay, Grandpa.
No, stop. Well, that's we call it that now, looking back. Of course, back then when it was new, you wouldn't call it the old tune. What cartoon was before that,
Grandpa.
Or the original tune.
Oh, that, yeah. So, okay, the turtles are sneaking around. April says, quit it, let's just walk in normally, And he's, she explains that he's blind, so it won't mind if they're turtles. They could just walk up in the store and buy their noodles normally. And they find out there's noise going on in there. There's like people fighting or something. Something's going on. So they gotta dash inside to check it out. And inside we see some thugs beating up Murakami. And these are actually the Purple Dragons that have now been introduced into this series as a street gang. And like they do, I don't even know if they do that in real life though, but yeah, the street gangs are basically draining the store for protection, either pay us or we'll mess you up. And Murakami refuses to pay, so they're attacking him.
Yeah, and the turtles come in and they're like, whoa, those guys were serious. There are giant turtles. And Mikey's like, they've heard of us? Hey, we're famous.
And one of them, I think Don's like, that's a bad thing. Oh. And then we start the moral of the episode in a way. The turtles, they kick ass and they fight because Purple Dragons really aren't much of a challenge in this series either. And Leo gets one of them and defeats him. And
yeah, Fong, the leader of them, and he has the opportunity to seriously injure Fong, but instead he chooses to let the guy go because the guy couldn't fight back, essentially.
Yeah. I still like how they. I mean, I know they have names. The characters have names, but we never really hear them. I like that. I forgot what episode it was where he ran away and Leo's like, "Fong got away." And I'm like, "How the hell do you know his name, dude? They're just random nameless thugs."
And there are some episodes in the upcoming that actually sound like they have more guys than just those three.
That's one thing I noted that we like, of course, because we did mention several times in this podcast the limited, character models. At least when the purple dragons appear in the comic book version, of course, it's several guys because you can just draw more guys. So at least in there, they look more like an actual gang. But basically speaking, yes, Leo is about to sock him out, but he decides just to let him go, and the bad guys get away. And Raph freaks out as to why they let them get away. And I really like that line where Leo's like, I'm not going to hit a defenseless man or something. And Raph's like, dude, they were beating up on a blind guy. Like, what's wrong with you? Now I think that we're wimps that aren't brave enough to finish the job. Like, what the hell?
Yes, and of course, Mr. Murakami thanks them and says, "Oh, I'll give you anything you want on the house. And what's your favorite food?" And they all say, "We like pizza."
Yep, and they make pizza gyoza. That reminds me of that hibachi thing, what he was doing with the slicing and throwing and cooking and stuff.
Yes, and he creates like these dumplings which are supposed to be very, very delicious. And April is a little disgusted by the idea of pizza gyoza because it sounds too out there.
I remember someone in Technodrome form actually made them.
I want to try to do that sometime, but I don't know how you make something like that. Maybe like a,
It would be like
it'd
a
be
fried
like,
pierogi. Just put the pizza stuff in there.
yeah, I should try that. I wonder if like,
Yeah,
I have to look
we
up a
should we
recipe.
should attempt that.
That
Yeah,
could be my next
you
blog
you
post.
just fill it up with
Pizza sauce,
mozzarella,
cheese,
pizza sauce, and pepperonis and
pepperonis.
stuff, and there you go.
Ooh, that's my next blog post. I should try that sometime.
And you see April like trying to entice them into trying an udon bowl or something because she's like, "Oh, this stuff is good too, you know." And they like shrug and go back to eating their pizza gyoza. Even though you see Mikey sort of wanting to try one of those noodle bowls.
Yeah,
They cut back to the turtle's lair and Leo.
yeah, I like that scene. He's punching on a punching bag, and Raph comes like, whoa, whoa, that's enough, Leo. Maybe you should let him go.
Yeah, and he's like, "I get it. You're just pissed off because I didn't defeat Fong."
Yeah. And then Splinter comes in. Well, I like that whole. Like I said, I really like the back and forth with the people. And Raph's like these guys only understand one thing, and I think almost like Japanese or something. And he's like, no, they understand like fists. And Mike's like, what about feet? Yes, they understand fists and feet. Well, that makes them bilingual. And he's like, oh,
Just give up.
yeah. Everyone was just throwing in their little line there to piss them off more.
Yeah, and Splinter comes in and says, "Oh, Leonardo showed real strength in showing mercy," and he shares an anecdote with them, which is a famous daimyo once said that in times of peace, never forget the possibility of war. In times of war, never forget compassion. And Raph is like, "I guess that guy lost a lot of wars."
And then Splinter bops him with his cane. And then, let me see. Well, Raph worries about the bad guys coming back, so Leo's we'll give them a message, special delivery style or something. And Raph's like, was that supposed to sound tough or stupid?
Yeah, so they go out, they hunt down the purple dragons, who of course are reporting their that the turtles were seen to Xever and Bradford, and
Well, let's not forget about Undercover April. I really like that part too. But you only look 16. Yeah, I'm very good at this. Where's your badge? Hey, if I was wearing a badge, I mean that gives my cover, you know? Like, that makes sense. And then, yeah, then we get to the part where the Purple Dragons are gonna offer Chris and Sever how to find the turtles for a price. Turtles bust in all super epic slow motion movie style with glass flying everywhere. And Sever's like, yeah, we can find them ourselves.
yeah, which leads into a whole epic fight where you see Leo getting his shell kicked by Xever, uh, of course, there's he sort of threatens Fong. He doesn't uh, uh, kill Fong, but he says, "You're making me really regret helping you."
And of course, following the last episode with the Xever thing, whole man crush thing, Mikey's like, oh no, this is awkward. It's my ex friend, Chris Bradford. Oh, and that other guy.
Yeah, and he's like, "The name's Xever." Let me remind you by writing it on your shelves with these. And he pulls out his butterfly knives. And
Yeah, he has an epic accent. I don't know what he's, because I don't know. He's like, isn't he like black mixed with Hispanic or something?
well, he's like supposed to be Brazilian, I think. The I remember seeing a interview, I think at PowerCon. They had the actor who played Fish Face there, and he said originally he was not supposed to have the accent, but he felt like the character should have that accent. So when he initially recorded, he had that Hispanic accent in his voice, and then the producers were like, could you do it normally first? And he does it normally, and they call him back and say, we like the accent better. Go with the accent.
Yeah, it makes him sound more sinister. He even yells out random Spanish words sometimes.
Like idiota.
Yeah, but yeah, we it just makes him sound more evil and menacing. Like,
Yeah, and considering Machete is going to play the voice of the neutralizer.
that's gonna be funny.
Yeah, I was watching a video. I saw him like, is that Machete? I'm like, maybe not. Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh. Now he has to tone down his voice for a kids show. Even though I think he did the Spy Kids. He was their uncle in Spy Kids. Unless I'm completely wrong, I have to check that now.
Yeah. So, but that was a random break though, because it just ends like the commercial break. It's like my name is Xever. Let me remind you by carving my names in my shells with these, And then like the episode, it just comes back from the commercial. They're already fighting. I'm like, did I miss something? Because like like the first time I saw the episode, I honestly thought that I missed it because I think I went to get food or something, and I came back and I missed it like to the part where like the fight's already started. So that was like a random break, just coming back from the commercial with the fight already going.
Yeah, I have the commercial, not the commercial, but that episode on my computer, and it doesn't have that break. It just automatically goes into them fighting.
Well, we got it on DVD. It does kind of fade in and out like that.
He is literally named Machete in the Spy Kids movie. I thought his name would be like Uncle Freddy or something like that, and it is Machete. For a kids movie. I never noticed that when I was little.
Well, now you know, guys. The Machete guys and Spy Kids, as well as the voice of Neutralizer for the second season. But
Yes, I remember someone on the Technodrome commenting that maybe he'll call the turtles the Los Tortugas or something.
yeah, I do hope they explain that though, because in the first episode he was like, random growling, snarling, screeching, whatever weird noise he was making, monster. They better explain why he can talk now and why he couldn't talk before.
Because they didn't have anyone to talk to for however he was in there, so against if you're treated like a monster long enough, you become one.
Well, it works for Hannibal Lecter. But anyway, let me see. So fight breaks out. There's purple dragons. Chris and Xever are, of course, they're a force to reckon with. They're beating turtles down. And then the Foot jumps in also. They're Foot ninjas. And even though they're not that formidable, they still kind of get in the way enough that it's just too much junk. So Leo calls for a retreat.
Yeah, like Xever is taking out both Raph and Leo on his own, even though they were kicking Xever's shell in episode 4.
Yeah, but they're still. I mean, that's what I like though. They're still how do you call it, competent, but like consistently competent. They're not just cakewalks later on.
Yeah, and with Mikey, he was like fighting the purple dragons and evades them by jumping on top of that statue they have in the middle of the fortune cookie factory, and he razzes at them and then turns and you see Donnie fighting Bradford until Bradford kind of stomps on the back of Donnie's head. And Mikey gets this look on his face like, no one hurts my brother like that.
So the turtles get away. I like the part when they're running away. You see all these random kunai and ninja stars. They're dodging as they're escaping. And yeah, that's when Xever gets mad and no, wait a minute, I forgot. Did it cut away back to the turtles there, or did we still see Xever yelling at them? Oh no, it was still cutting away the turtles there. Yeah, it cut back to the turtles there, and Raph is super embarrassed how they had to run from another fight. They're like, could that fight have been any more embarrassing?
Yeah, because of Leo's comment. He's like, what, we're running away? And Leo's like, yeah, it's part of my let's all live plan.
And well, Splinter reminds them that Xever crosses lines that they can't because he's basically a cold-blooded killer. And Leo's like, well, let's show him that we can cross lines too.
Raph is like, yeah, but he wins fights and he doesn't show mercy. And then they hear. Then it shifts back to the fortune cookie factory where Xever is beating up Fong for essentially leading the turtles to the lair, to their hideout. And Fong says like, "Oh yeah, I saw him at this noodle shop that we were roughing." So they go and kidnap Murakami, and April turtles and says, "Hey, Murakami's been kidnapped. I need you to go." They find the note, which with one of Xever's knives, and the note essentially says that they have the old man. And if they want him alive, they have to come and finish the fight.
So that's when Leo gets the idea to cross the line too, so to speak. And the turtles actually, which is a switch because you don't really see many cartoons doing that with the heroes. I mean, the bad guys kidnap people all the time. We don't see the good guys kidnapping people. So the turtles basically gang up on Bradford and kidnap him.
And lock him away in
a trash can.
garbage can. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the part where they like drop him and Mike's like, "Oh, sorry." It's like, dude, don't apologize. "Oh, I mean, sorry we didn't drop you harder." And it's like, there you go.
Yes, and then when they're rolling him down the street, they are like cozy in there, and you hear like this angry muffled sound or something, and Raph's like, "Good."
But then, yeah, they show up for the final showdown and whatever, and Murakami's like tied up, like hanging off a ledge or something, where Xever can just cut the rope whenever he wants, and Mike's like, dude, Xever's like a jerk, man. And they show up there with the garbage can, and it's like they let the old man go. You think it's just Xever and some guys, but no, the Foot also show up. It's like changing plans, and Neil's like, well, we got another change in plans, and he revealed that Bradford was kidnapped inside the trash can, and apparently the turtles threatened to throw the Chris Bradford off the rooftop or something. It's like, let your friend go, and let our friend go, we'll let your friend go. And Xever's like, oh, he's not my friend. And Charles are like, what?
Willing for them to push him off the edge.
They go, I'm not kidding. We'll do it. We'll shove him off. And yeah, like, go ahead.
You're doing me a favor.
Yeah, and it's like, Raph, and Raph's like, oh, whatever, and like puts him, doesn't push him.
And commence fighting. But in my opinion, I figured he would think like, oh, they're not going to do it because they're good guys. So that's what I figured Xever was thinking. But later he kind of reveals that, what did he say?
Like he didn't really know or care.
He didn't really know and care because he didn't think he didn't like Bradford, so he didn't give a crap if he was thrown off the edge or not. But like honestly, I thought like Xever figured and knew that they wouldn't do it because they're good guys, and most of the time good guys don't ever do something bad, like killing someone.
Like even Raph with good conscience
wouldn't throw him.
kill anybody.
So that's what I thought Xever assumed, but that was not his idea. He just
didn't really care.
Yeah, he just didn't really care.
How did you know those guys were bluffing? I didn't.
Yeah, and the turtles get their asses handed to them, and
yep, more awesome fighting. The whole sequence was so awesome with all the ninja fighting, the foot all over the place, ninjas, stuff.
Ninja stars, those little
Yeah.
knives.
Yeah, and then Bradford frees himself because he sees a kunai lying nearby, so he scooches over and frees himself, and then kicks the turtle shells. And Donnie makes a comment like, "Hey, we were the guys who didn't want to throw you off the roof."
Yeah, I was gonna say that was a good line. And then Fong is questioning whether or not he should attack the turtles or not, and everything. But we'll get back to him later. But I got stuff to say about him. But yeah, the turtles are gonna lose, and well, I like the part where like they're about to lose and they're like gonna kill him, but of course the bad guys argue, and I like the scene where Chris is like, "Well, you couldn't beat them without my help, and you know it." And Severus like, "Yeah, I mean, what could we have done without your leadership from the trash can?" And then like I guess one of Leo's swords was near where Fong was, and Fong like throws it at the turtles, and then acts like he didn't do nothing, to run, appearances or whatever.
He has a name.
Yeah. And Leo, like, grabs a sword, breaks down, I think, like a water tower that was nearby, that washes down the bad guys, flushes them off the roof. And Mikey saves Murakami.
So yeah, bygones are bygones with as far as Fong and Leo are concerned, because they and I think in a way Fong may actually gain a bit more respect for the turtles, but at the same time he's still going to be a bad guy because he knows the turtles are going to try and stop him.
Yeah. And I'll bring that up in a bit, but okay, so they're like back and stuff. Murakami gives some more pizza gyoza.
Gratitude, yes. It's kind of a supply bag of pizza gyoza.
And then
I really want to try that stuff now.
And then Don like suggested to April, and April's like, "Ew, no," or something. And he's like, "Hey, two things that may not go together might be a great couple. I mean, a great food, And of course, April likes it now, so she eats them all up.
Yeah, she like steals his plate for Donnie.
Yeah, and well, Splinter of course reminds everyone that it was Leonardo's compassion that made that Purple Dragon member, help them save the day when they were about to lose. And Raph's like, maybe your wimpiness does pay off or something, and they kind of, I guess, tackle each other, chase each other, something like that. I forgot how the episode actually ended, though. I spaced on the very, very end.
I watched it today.
Yeah. Oh, it ended with the Shredder like I'm tired of your incompetence. I will defeat them personally. Like dun 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 dun. It's like now Shredder's going like himself's after them now, so that's like epic.
Well, yes, the famous quote, "If you can't get something done, do it yourself."
Even he's actually getting out his lair. Oh my gosh!
He actually got his ass off the seat.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, because
he's actually doing his own dirty work.
When Shredder actually stands up from his seat, like shit goes down. It's getting serious now. It has hit the fan.
Yeah.
Because it is funny, in all the episodes, all he's doing is just sitting there, like, what's happening? Are Charles defeated yet? How dare you? Defeat them now, or else. That's all he's doing, so now, yeah. That must be one comfy chair, I gotta say.
That must be. Considering it's made of stone, so it has to be very comfortable stone if he's sitting on it all day.
Oh, Shredder's so awesome, it has to be made of stone. Normal cushions are for wimps.
Exactly. And it would have been cool to see Karai standing in the background, because we know she appears in a few episodes from now. And
yeah, I mean, it's just so random. They don't even explain oh, I flew in from Japan to help out Father or nothing. She's just there. It's like, where the hell she come from? Where was she in these other episodes?
Yeah, it would have been good to see a preamble saying perhaps I should bring her or whatever, and Bradford could say, "What, you're not talking about Karai, are you? Or what could your daughter do that we have?"
If you watch the episodes, Karai really hasn't really lost a fight against the turtles. They basically just something gets interrupted and she gets away, but they never actually finish the fight. They never actually knock her out or anything.
But yet she's also conflicted with her emotions too, because like, yeah, she sort of likes Leo, but it's hard to tell where it's real and where it's just an act. And that's what is very phenomenal with this incarnation of Karai. That we don't know which side she's really on. Yes, she's firmly invested in the Foots because that's where she was raised. She was told Splinter killed her mother, and she needs to get revenge for what has happened, and she finds freedom in villainy that she doesn't see in being good. But at the same time, she is all complaining about, yeah, my father is short-sighted, it's always vendetta, revenge, revenge, I'm sick of it. Well, I'm okay with him doing it, but I personally think he needs more of a life.
So I think at this point we can rate the episode. What would you say? What would you consider this episode?
I would consider it a good episode. It's not, well, it was certainly borderline good episode, epic awesomeness because it had a lot of action, it had a lot of conflicts. It could have maybe gone more, like maybe having a small scene of maybe where you see Karai standing in the background for one small shot and Shredder saying like it's not your time to act yet, or talking to one of his foot soldiers and saying, "Oh, get my daughter," or "Could you please contact?" Not please, but maybe barking in order to contact his daughter.
Well, it could have been later because he was. This episode ended with him basically going off by himself and assuming if he had killed them, there's no real need to call Karai at all. I mean, the only thing is that when she appeared, they should have made her. They should have made it more like she just appeared and not make it seem like she was always there. That would have solved the problem. They should have just explained that I just recently flew in or something. Not just, oh, there she is and she was always there. We just never saw her because.
She's hiding. She's embarrassed about Daddy. Quote unquote Daddy.
Maybe at the end of Panic at the Sewers, maybe he should have had a scene where.
Yeah, that works better in that episode. And well, for my review, I would say I would also give it epic awesomeness because it's just, I mean, it had good fight scenes. It was just super epic. It was just craziness. You had Chris and Xever, the Foot, and the Purple Dragons against the Turtles all at once. It's all just, flipping, kicking, jumping, ninja stars everywhere. It was just an epic fighting. And of course, there was still lots of comedy. There was entertaining back and forth between the characters. The only thing that I didn't like a bit, sort of, when you compare what happens next is the whole thing with Bong, because then in the other episodes, he acted like nothing happened. He's still out there to kick the turtles' asses, like if this episode never happened, like if he never threw the sword to help them out. There wasn't even, the stereotypical, we're even now, but next time it's on. Nothing like that. It was just, I don't know.
Yeah. It's definitely clear that the Purple Dragons do have some concept of honor, even if they aren't the most honorable of people. So, yeah, I think he might have a bit more respect for the turtles, but at the same time, he knows that they are not his friends.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know, it's weird. And of course, they're very cannon fodder-ish. They didn't really put up much of a fight anyway. And, well, it's a good episode, because seeing that they're going to get mutated quick after this episode, it is good that Xever did have a chance to shine and have a full episode of himself being the main focus and still being human before he would get mutated later. So that was good, too.
And, like, there was, like, lots of comments that he gets, screwed when he gets mutated, like, particularly from you and from the actor who plays.
Oh, geez, even he agrees.
Agrees about what?
How Xever got messed up as a fish. Basically, he can't breathe out of water. He can't walk anymore. He is just a giant fish with arms, basically.
Yeah, and until he gets robot legs, he's pretty much useless. Though he would be pretty lethal if they did have any underwater battles, which might be in a future episode.
Yeah, I do believe one of the comic book covers has the turtles fighting fish underwater. So we're gonna see how that comes up. I believe it might be this month's issue of the Turtles, the TMNT New Animated Adventure. So we'll see how that goes. It's just so funny. I mean, it took so long for him to appear in the episodes. Finally, as Fishface and actually in battle. I mean, even back then, there was like a Lego thing of the turtles chasing down Fishface on a motorcycle or something. I'm like, well, he's not even he's not even in the show yet, so to speak. That was interesting. It took like forever, and then even when he did fight, he was by himself in that first episode. It was like later on where you actually see Dog Pound and Fishface side by side. It took like forever to finally see that.
Yeah, and the first time Fishface shows up, Donnie is the guy who pwns him.
Yeah. So what do you think of the episode, Paige?
It was good story, I guess. It's a rating scale. I like the action of this. I like the action of the episode. Get to see Xever fight as himself and not as a fish. This is the pre-fishiness. Oh yeah, the peg legs. Whenever the foot soldier actually came in to fight with Xever and Bradford, at one of the foot soldier, I thought they had peg legs. because they're
these generic skinny guys, yes.
Well, their legs are skinny, but I just thought they were peg legs at first. I'm like, dude, they have peg legs.
It's so weird. Like the design style is so damn skinny. The lower legs. It's like, geez, it's toothpicks. Where does Shredder find all these toothpick leg guys to be his ninjas?
Yeah. Like maybe we know that they are probably going to have a robotic ninjas on the foot pretty soon or soon enough.
No, we'll have to see, because that also kind of fell through. When they had the Mutation Man episode, they kept assuming that they're going to do like, yes, you must improve my man. Everyone's like, oh my god, they're going to bring the foot soldiers, and the robot ones, and instead it was, what happened to Timothy. So it's kind of weird if they're going to bring that back or not. Okay, enough here. So even in the
South Park Page.
okay, you behave yourself. So, anyways, yeah. So it was a good episode. You enjoyed it, Paige?
Put a thumbs up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Better than all the other episodes of the earlier series. Because, I don't know, most of them don't have too much action like this. Like, kick-ass action and like have all this stuff going on at one time, like having all the foot soldiers randomly come in while they're fighting Xever and Bradford. They're like outnumbered by the foot soldiers and the two fighters, ninjas, call them.
And that was one of the big things, because Xever has like that capoeira-ish fighting style with the legs and everything, and he uses his legs as a fish, so that's gotta crush him. Yeah.
Not till like the episode where they finally discover the crane. That's a little while away.
Yeah. So any final thoughts on this episode, Venka?
Well, I would say this is definitely one of the more action-packed episodes of the season. Like, there have been good episodes, there have been subpar episodes, but this is definitely one since the first one since the beginning premiere that has rated an epic awesome this episode. And the second half was actually kind of Rise of the Turtles was actually better than part one's, which was actually kind of ironic because the showdown in Booyaka Showdown, the first half was better than the second half.
Well, we shall take another break as we wrap up the episode. We're going to try to maintain the Halloween theme since we are close to Halloween, or maybe it already passed by the time you saw this. But yeah, we shall discuss what the turtles fear
the most.
Yes, we write. Okay, so anyways.
I had to have a creepy sound effect. Come on.
Okay. Yeah, watch YouTube, copyright whatever because it's a theme or something. But anyways, yeah, go if you still haven't finished eating all your pizza by now, go get those last slices because we'll be right back
Or
with the
your pizza
gyozas.
Thank you.
Or pizza milkshake.
Yeah.
Let's try it, Mark.
Ew, no, that's one thing we're not going to be trying.
Oh, I'm gonna force you.
That's disgusting.
Hey, there's people who go on YouTube and show themselves trying all the weird pizzas that were spoken of in the OT series.
Yeah, with the ice cream. Oh, didn't one of the Technodrome people actually make ice cream pizza and eat it and like whatever? I think I heard something like that, and that's ew.
It's kind of funny. Like one day at school, my one teacher brought in like a pizza. We thought it was actually pizza, but it's actually cake. And like obviously the cake, yellow cake bottom as a crust, jam maybe as a pizza sauce. I don't remember anymore. And like different items, like candy items to represent like the different toppings. There you go, a cake pizza.
Yeah, but those 80s cartoon turtles, they would literally put scoops of ice cream on it. Like, oh god.
Or cereal, or like, yeah, I think the one that got the most appeal was the tea and toast pizza.
We should have like a pizza shop that we can come up with the strangest idea, and then if you eat it, you win $100 or something like that.
Oh god.
That would be something Extreme Pizza should do.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if they're
Let's do it.
Extreme Pizza,
We'll have a pizza shop called Extreme Pizza! For like a muscle man.
Oh jeez. Or we could do like weird pizza, and if someone orders a pizza that's so gross, we'll put an anchovy disguised as a homing device to find the turtles. Well, anyways, guys, we're gonna take a break there, and yeah, go eat some pizza. Hopefully, normal pizza as we wrap this up.